Welcome to CIZ. In this video, I'll be discussing about the March current affairs for the Engineering Services Examination 2020 of General Studies Prelims paper. Let us start in series with the current affairs. Let us start in the series of current affairs. The first one here is of Golan Heights. The importance of Golan Heights relates to Israel. These are the mountains which are present on the border of Israel and Lebanon. Here, Golan Heights, they are of 1200 square kilometers on the plateau of Israel and Syria border. They are part of Syria, and by the year of 1967, they were completely the part of Syria only. However, there was a 6-day war in the same year, and thereafter Israel captured it in the year of 1967. In the present scenario, United States American President Donald Trump, he officially recognized Israeli sovereignty over the occupied Golan Heights, which were seized from Syria in 1967. Here, right now in the present scenario, there are the two countries which are opposing this. One is Syria, the other one is Jordan. Golan Heights, as you can see from the map here, these are present into this domain. The border that is shared here, that is of Israelis. The Second World War, that was from 1939 to 1945, it was won by USA and its allies with the support of Israel's soldiers as well as the best fighter pilots. They had the power of very good skills also. Israel is the country of Jewish community people. Across the world, any person who is of the Jewish community, he is having the authority to be the member and citizen of Israel. So overall, Golan Heights were in news, and please learn the two stakeholder countries which were part of this. One is Syria, the other one is Jordan. And the contemporary country that has recognized the sovereignty of Israel here is USA only. Let us proceed with the next one. The next current affair is related to the capital gains tax. As there is a portion of economy in your paper of General Studies Prelims part, and that last year also there were near about 2-3 questions from the economy part. Here this is also related to that only. Capital gains tax, as the word says, capital in economy means the money and the tax that is imposed onto the money earned through any means. Here there are certain assets in economy which includes houses. There are two types of assets, movable and immovable. In case of movable, there are vehicles such as cars, lorries, vehicles, and in case of immovable assets, there are cases of properties only. So whenever a person sells these kinds of assets, he gets some kind of money. So the tax that is imposed onto that money, that is called as the capital gains tax. So overall, any income that is derived from capital assets, movable or immovable, this is taxable under the head capital gains under the Income Tax Act of 1961. Please mind my words, there is importance of this act also. That is of 1961 year. That is Income Tax Act of 1961 Act. Overall, there is another concept that is important in capital gains taxes, that is DTAA, that is Double Tax Avoidance Agreement. This agreement comes into action when in a business there is a company that is having a unit in one country also, and same company is having a branch in the other country. So overall, if the company has to execute the business, they have to pay some kind of taxes into both the countries. When the countries they have agreement regarding certain tax related parameters and protocols, the company can pay the tax at one stage in one country only. The same tax can be exempted by the other country in the other side. So overall, this is tax avoidance agreement between two countries. So DTA, it is a treaty signed in order to avoid the double taxation. Overall, here you can see, and it is on the same declared asset in two different countries. In the year of 2016, India amended DTA with two countries to prevent the aggressive corporate tax avoidance. Here two countries were Singapore and Mauritius. So overall, this is very important and significant step to increase the GDP and economic growth rate in the country. So DTAA as well as capital gains tax. This is very important from the current affairs part. Let us move further. The next current affair that is related here is of white label ATMs and brown label ATMs. Please understand the concept of white label ATMs. These are the ATMs, they are set up and owned and operated by non-bank entities, and they are called the white label ATMs. Usually across the country, there is a regulatory body in the country of banks, that is RBI. Under RBI only there are private as well as the public sector banks. So public sector as well as the private sector banks, these are the banking entities, they are having the recognition as well as the authority from RBI. However, there are certain non-banking entities also which are working into this domain. So overall, white label ATMs, they are recognized and executed by the non-bank entities. They are authorized under the Payment and Settlement Systems Act of 2007, which was created by RBI only. Please learn this act as well as its year. That is Payment and Settlement Systems Act of 2007. The cash in ATMs is provided by the sponsored bank, while ATM machine does not have any branding of a bank. See this, there is no branding of bank onto the white ATMs. The brown label ATMs, which are owned by the banks, but operations and maintenance is outsourced to a third party. This is also a major difference between these two. Such ATMs operates as the ones belonging to the bank itself, including having the bank's branding. So in case of brown ATMs, the naming authority, that is of the branded banks only, but the execution part, that is outsourced to the third party. Recently also, in the last 2 years examination of IES, there were 2-3 questions from this part from economy, and they were statement based only. So please understand these two terminologies. These are the main concepts which are going to be very important from the exam point of view. Moving further, the next current affair, that is related to the KUSUM scheme. I told you earlier also, there was Pragati scheme in 2018 paper, and in the paper there was only acronym of that was asked. So here also, in the current affairs of March month, there was a KUSUM scheme that is very important. KUSUM stands for Kisan, Urja, Surksha, evam, Utthaan, Mahabhiyan. Please learn the terminology. A for Kisan, Urja, Surksha, evam, Utthaan, Mahabhiyan. So this is the terminology for this KUSUM word. Now, this is a scheme that provides the 90% subsidy for the solar power plants. Solar plants which are used in the agriculture domain so as to pump out the water through electricity. So overall, for the agriculture concept of the country and the farmers, they will be getting the subsidy out of this, and they will be benefited to a large extent. Furthermore, the government has created 3 components out of it. Here they have been highlighted into component A, B and C. The component A shows that setting up of 1000 megawatt of decentralized ground and slit mountain grid connected solar or other renewable energy based power plants in the country. The group B highlights the installation of 17.50 lakh standalone solar agriculture pumps to fulfill the irrigation needs of the farmers not connected to the grid. And the component C shows the solarization of 10 lakh grid connected agriculture pumps to make farmers independent of grid supply and also enable them to sell surplus solar power generated to DISCOM and get extra income. So overall, the major things out of these components that you have to learn is the first part, that is installation of 17.50 lakh standalone solar agriculture pumps. The second one shows the solarization of 10 lakh grid connected agriculture pumps, and the next part is the scheme has major aim to add a solar capacity of 25,000 megawatt by the year of 2022. So overall, as per the recent scenario of the exam, there have been certain questions from UPSC only that shows the target based system of the government schemes. So in this scheme, the main aim is to add a solar capacity of 25,750 megawatt by the year of 2022. Let us move further in the next scheme. The next current affair shows the forward search experiment. It is also having acronym of FASER only. Overall, this is current affair from the science and technology part. As per the recent scenario of the exam, there is ICT, Information and Communications Technology part in the prelims paper. However, it is synonymous to the science and tech part only. So there is a possibility of question from this being this side only. In case of FASER, FASER is a proposed experiment dedicated to searching for light extremely weak and interacting particles at the Large Hadron Collider. Please understand this. This picture shows the Large Hadron Collider on France and Germany border. LHC is there. From last 2 decades only, this project is executed by CERN. This is the European Nuclear Research Organization, that is one of the largest and the best scientific organization that works in this domain. So CERN is the responsible organization for the Large Hadron Collider project, and there are certain particles which may be produced in LHC's high energy collisions in large numbers in the far forward region and then travel long distances through the concrete and rock without interacting particles. So overall, this concept is visible in this diagram only. All the modules and the executive part, they are used in this LHC. And CERN have approved a new experiment named FASER, designed to identify the light and weakly interacting particles. So CERN is the concerned agency that is working on to identify the weak as well as the light particles, which will be used further in the experiment of FASER. So please understand the terminology of FASER, the acronym of FASER, major aims and objective of the FASER only. I hope this is clear to you. If you have any doubts, please comment below, and thanks for watching the video.